Hi you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. This is a very special video because I'm here with one of my favorite guests. This is my fiance, Kevin. You want to say hi?
Hi everyone. My name's Kevin. I'm from New York City and this is not my channel.
And if you guys are new here, my name's Ruby. I live in New York City. This is my lifestyle channel, so if you haven't subscribed already, please take a second to do so. Our next goal is to hit 7K here on this channel, and I also post daily content over on my TikTok, so be sure to go follow me there as well. Our next goal is to hit 25,000 followers. So for those who might be new here, whether you've just recently subscribed or you found me through this video, we recently got engaged about 2 weeks ago, and so I thought it would be really fun to get Kevin to sit down with me and we could tell the story of the engagement slash proposal, how it happened. There's obviously like a lot that I can't talk about because it was all Kevin doing like behind the scenes stuff. He agreed to film with me, so here we are today. Are you ready to officially like be a YouTuber and do a little story time?
I'm super ready.
So I guess we should start kind of like pre-proposal slash engagement, a little bit of relationship history. Kevin and I have been together for 5 years. We met doing a off-Broadway show. We're both actors here in the city. And then, so I saw this saying, I told you about it once. I saw it on TikTok and it said that a proposal should always be a surprise, but the engagement should never be a surprise. So, and I really liked that. So like we had definitely talked about like getting engaged prior to it actually happening. And about a year and a half before the actual proposal, we started looking at rings and designing the ring that I currently have on my hand. So I guess that's kind of like a little backstory. I knew that it was like eventually going to happen, but I had no idea when it was actually happening. So Kev, I guess you can kind of like take it away and talk about when you decided to propose and how you decided where it was happening and kind of like the backstory before the actual day.
Yeah, I mean, so I wanted it to be not just like any random day, but like a special day. So at first I was looking into like, you know, when our first date was or like when we first met. So eventually I decided to combine those two things, and that so it would happen the place where we first met on the anniversary of our first date together. So that was sort of the thinking there, and I started planning that like probably in the summer.
Oh wow, okay, so yeah, we got engaged September 21st of this year, so you started planning that in the summer?
Well, yeah, like early summer.
Yeah.
Because I guess it was still technically, technically summer by the time it happened.
Yeah,
so.
But I didn't know that it was actually that early, so yeah. So
well,
yeah.
I mean, there's things that need to go into planning it.
No, obviously, yeah. So we, like Kevin said, he proposed where we first met, which was the rehearsal studio for the off-Broadway show that we did together. Okay, and then, so do you want to talk about kind of like, once you had it all planned out, like who you told and kind of why?
Yeah, I mean, I started telling some of my friends probably first, and I probably even told them that, like, well, because I had the ring since like spring.
Okay, and that I did not know. That I talked about that in our in like the video that I posted announcing our engagement. Kevin told me after the fact. He had the ring since, did you say since April?
Yeah, I got it in like mid-April.
He had the ring since April. The proposal didn't happen until September. So this boy was sitting on a ring for like 6 months, and I had absolutely no idea. Well, we completed the ring, like the ring designing process was done in January. So I knew after that, like it was up to him like when to purchase it and stuff,
well,
but
we were still looking. We didn't decide until February, because then
was it February?
Yeah, we visited the place.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm sorry. The ring designing process and everything, the jeweler, you know, researching process was done in February. Okay, so then you had it since April.
So going back to actually, so I think I ordered the ring. It was either on Valentine's Day or the day after Valentine's Day. And that was like right after we had gone for that appointment.
I really had no idea.
So it was that far back. And then planning for the actual engagement started happening like early, like I got the ring in April, and then I started telling some people, like some of my close friends about it.
Yeah.
And then I started planning it like early summer.
Yeah, and again, I truly had like, you know, I keep hearing about like the female's intuition. You'll know when it's about to, like, absolutely no idea. We'll talk about that like when we get to the actual day. But then do you want to talk about who you told? Like Kevin kept the circle pretty small as far as like who he told that it was happening, because he did not want anyone to spoil the surprise for me, which I really appreciated. But there were a couple of people who you told in terms of like our immediate family a few days prior. So do you want to like tell me about that?
Well, so I started like, obviously I had to like find a photographer and, you know, make sure I could reserve the studio in time so it wasn't like booked up or anything like that. But then when it actually came down to like planning to the day, I had let your sister know a week in advance first, and then from there met with her later that week to discuss like logistics, and then there we called your mom, your dad, and your grandma together.
Yeah, so Kevin told me this after the fact, but he, like you just said, he called, obviously all separately, but he called my dad, my mom, and then my grandma, my mom's mom, and asked them all individually for their blessing. You know, I always say growing up, like my parents told me and my sister to never ask permission to do anything in life. And so it was a big thing for me. I told Kevin a while ago, I said, like, when the time comes and you're planning all of this, I said, I'd really like you to call my mom, my dad, and my grandma separately and not ask for their permission, but ask for their blessing and let them know that like this was about to happen. I said you don't necessarily need to involve them in like the actual proposal. That's up to you and kind of up to scheduling, but I would just really like for them to know beforehand, and that was something that like meant a lot to me. And then Kevin took it one step further and not only asked them, but had Ava, my sister, film all of their FaceTimes. So after I said yes and the proposal was over, I got to go back and watch all of their like genuine reactions to learning that like Kevin was gonna propose and for them like saying yes. I knew that they were all gonna say yes because they all obviously love you, but that was so special and cool, and like I feel like so many people don't get to see that, so it was really just like incredibly special, and I just thank you so much for that. I've already said that, yeah. But
well, I guess, I mean, the part of it that made it even easier was just that I had lived with your family essentially for half a year during the pandemic, so...
Yeah, so my family got to know you quite well, and we've also been
It wasn't like I was calling strangers for your blessings.
Yeah, and we've also been together for 5 years, so I feel like my parents were kind of like, yeah, it's about time, like, good for you, I mean...
Yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was definitely, like, shocked in a good way. My mom had known that it was, like, probably coming soon, so she was really just, like, excited for it. But my dad's reaction was fantastic because it was like pure shock in a really good way. Okay, so let's talk about, I feel like this video is going to be so all over the place because I didn't plan out like the bullet points or anything, but let's talk about the few days prior to the proposal when you knew it was happening but I had no idea, and yet I thought I knew when it was happening. So like Kevin said, he proposed on September 21st, which was the anniversary of our first date, but our actual anniversary is September 17th. We celebrated on the day that, like, I guess we kind of made it official that we were going out. Like Kevin said, like, you know, I'd really like to take you out on a date, and it was like the closing night of our show, and it was just like a really special day. So that's when we celebrate our anniversary. Not the anniversary of our first date, but kind of the anniversary of like everything starting, for lack of a better term. So our 5-year anniversary was the 17th of this year, and I didn't necessarily have a feeling that like the proposal was going to happen, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been surprised if it did, because I knew that, like, Kevin knew obviously that I was gonna look kind of nice that day because we were going out to an anniversary dinner and Kevin planned this whole day. So I was like cautiously optimistic. And then what I thought was weird is like, so every year on our anniversary, me and Kevin give each other, I just thought it was so, well, that's why I thought like maybe something was happening. I was confused. Basically, long story short, every anniversary, Kevin and I give each other cards, and I save every single card that I've ever gotten from Kevin. I think he's one of like the best, sweetest writers, and I love the cards that he gives me. And this year on our anniversary, like the day was going by, Kevin planned it beautifully. We had breakfast, we had a great dinner, but the day's going on, and like I had given him his card and his gift, and I was like, I think Kevin forgot to get me a card or something. And so in the middle of the day, I brought it up, and I was like, so it's okay if you forgot, but like, can you just let me know what's going on? And you said, do you want to say like what you said, your very cryptic messaging?
Well, I mean, I just didn't want to like have a card and like allude to the fact that there might be something happening soon, but I guess it backfired because by not having a card, I don't know, I just got like a bad feeling, and I was just confused, and I was like, what's going on? Like, is something gonna, like, is he trying to make me like kind of sad and then surprise me with something? Like, that's what I thought. But Kevin in his very cryptic way was like, no, you're getting a card, and it's on our anniversary, but it's not our anniversary, but it'll make sense. And in the moment I was like, what is he talking about? No, it'll make sense like later in the video. But so that's like his very cryptic messaging that he said to me on our anniversary. Long story short, a proposal didn't happen. I was okay, but I felt kind of like silly because I thought that like my intuition was leading me correctly, and it was not. 3 days later was Kevin's birthday. Kevin's birthday is on the 20th, which is why I've always loved September. It's like a month of just
celebrating. And I had planned his entire birthday. And once again, I didn't think that a proposal was happening on that day, but I was cautiously optimistic because I thought it would be just like Kevin to like pull one on me on a day that I've planned and then him do something like a proposal and surprise me. So I made sure that I wasn't looking like I had just rolled out of bed, but nothing happened. And like, again, I was fine with that because it was his day and I wasn't really expecting it. I was just kind of like on my toes. So after that kind of like long weekend of celebrating, I honestly just kind of relaxed and I was like, okay, maybe I truly have no idea when it's happening. And so maybe it's gonna be like on a random day in October. I love the fall. Maybe he's gonna hold on.
Well, you did also say you didn't want it in summer because of the heat,
well,
too.
I think that that's a very valid thing. I told him, I said, you can plan the proposal like whenever you want, do whatever you want, but I would prefer for it not to be in the dead of summer because here in New York it's so hot and I didn't want the photos to be like me just dripping and sweat. But anyways, after that long weekend, I honestly thought, I was like, maybe he's playing the long game and it's gonna be like during Christmas time because I do love the holidays, but that's kind of a long time. I have no idea. But long story short, I literally just put it out of my head and I was like, I don't know when it's happening. I'm not even gonna try and play this guessing game anymore. And then lo and behold, it happened the day after Kevin's birthday. But like I said, we've never celebrated the anniversary of our first
That's why
date.
I thought it was clever.
Yeah, and like, but why would that be at the forefront of my mind? So, okay, I've done a lot of talking and I need to let you take over. So do you want to talk about the day of and your elaborate plan?
Well, no, just like it ended up working out really well too, that it was happening there because I was invited to sing at a concert at the same location, the studios where we first met.
Yeah.
A couple weeks later, so it worked out because I said that we were going to sing a duet together for that, which we are, but we were going to go on the 21st to rehearse for that. And it's a group that I've sung with a few times before, so they know me, they know Ruby. We ended up bringing the dog with us too, just because I said they wanted to meet her for the first time. So it was set up pretty perfectly where it didn't seem suspicious that we were going to be going to this rehearsal studio to...
Yeah, no, it didn't seem, like literally there was nothing suspicious about it at all. So like Kevin said, he's performing in a concert like a few days actually. And he had told me a few weeks prior, like, hey, do you want to sing a song with me? I said, yeah, I'd love that.
Well, and you brought it up too. You were like, hey, do you want to sing the Into the Woods song?
Yeah, and like we don't get a lot of opportunities to perform together right now, just especially because of the world and stuff. And so I was, really excited. And Kevin had told me like a week prior to the proposal, he was like, hey, we have a music rehearsal for that concert the night of the 21st. So I wasn't thinking anything other than, okay, we're gonna have a rehearsal.
Well, and I had work too, so I was like, okay, I'll just meet you after work.
Yeah, he had work during the day, and so he said, he goes, by the way, the rehearsals are at 353 Studios, which, first of all, is a very popular rehearsal space here in New York. Like, if you're an actor, you've probably been there. But it also happens to be where we first met. But I still wasn't thinking anything of it because I knew that he actually had this concert and that wasn't, like, a fib or anything. And then, like a few days prior to that, to the rehearsal, you were like, by the way, they really want to meet Dakota and the studio's pet friendly, so we'll just bring her. Again, thinking nothing of it, everybody loves Dakota. Like, they care much more about Dakota than they do about us. And so, again, I wasn't thinking anything, like, I was not suspecting anything. And also, the day of, like Kevin said, he had work, he was acting totally normal, I had work, I was doing stuff for social media clients, and so I really wasn't thinking, like, anything was happening. But you came home that day, we left to go to this rehearsal together. Now let me just say, luckily, because I had been doing work for social media clients that day, my hair was done, my makeup was done, and my nails were painted from his birthday the night before. What I didn't plan on was being proposed to that day, and so my outfit was Hoka sneakers, black leggings, and a plain gray t-shirt, because for like a music rehearsal, you just dress comfortable, and so that's what I was wearing.
That's not what I was expecting. Though.
No, but for a music rehearsal, it's not, a ball gown or anything.
Yeah. I thought, like, you'd be meeting people for the first time.
Well, that's why I thought my hair and my makeup is done. I'll just wear a casual outfit. So we're walking down to the studio. It's like kind of a short-ish walk from where we live. And again, Kevin's acting totally normal. Like, he's not nervous, fidgety, acting out of character. But, like, were you nervous at all walking there?
I mean, I was just texting Ava to make sure everything was set up, but...
Yeah, but like you weren't nervous because like you knew I was gonna say yes, obviously.
I was more nervous, like, of you looking inside Dakota's bag where it had the ring box, or like when I snuck it out of there and put it in my pocket.
No,
like,
I
as we were
didn't.
getting closer.
I truly didn't notice a thing. I was just determined to like get to rehearsal and sing this song that I had been practicing. But we get to the studio, and again, I'm like not suspecting anything. And Kevin, I was like, what studio like are we rehearsing in? And Kevin's like, oh, it's that one. I was like, that's so random. Like that's the actual studio that like we would rehearse in all the time. Still not thinking anything of it. I guess I'm clearly an idiot looking back on this. But I opened the door, and immediately I just saw a ton of rose petals on the floor leading up to like a circle. And then in the back of the studio was my sister Ava, Kevin's best friend Hassan, and 2 photographers. So I instantly knew what was going on. Like as soon as I opened the door, I instantly knew what was happening. And I just proceeded to laugh. I'm sure you remember, but I just proceeded to laugh and say, oh geez, and oh no. Not because I was gonna say no, like obviously I was gonna say yes, but I just couldn't believe that you truly had fooled me. Like I could not believe that I didn't suspect a thing, and also that I was in black leggings and sneakers. But it was like truly perfect. You led me to oh no, it was perfect because it was so us and so intimate, and like I'm really glad that my sister was there to like help document everything, but I'm glad it wasn't like a big spectacle, and it just felt like a time for us, you know. And so you led me to the circle, and you said like this really cute speech. Then I could tell you were nervous because you like repeated yourself twice, and I could tell that there was
myself. It was just like,
well, I could tell that there was more that you wanted to say, but you couldn't figure out what you wanted to say. Like then I could tell you were kind of nervous.
I was just spitting out the facts.
Yeah, Kevin was like, you know, we met here 5 years ago, and 5 years later,
from this
here
day,
we are.
it was our anniversary of our first day.
And so you were like, it was kind of a full circle moment, and you were like, I'm just so excited to start this next chapter with you. And I just kept saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Well, I don't think you were talking in between there, but.
Well, no, I just kept laughing and saying like, oh my, you can hear me softly on the video saying like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. And then you got down on one knee, and you asked me to marry you, and obviously I said yes. And then I remember honestly, like I just wanted to hug you so bad. So like we just started hugging, you know, and I honestly didn't even look down at my hand.
Did I put the ring on you first? Or
yes, you did. You did put the ring on me first. And you said something, you were like, wow, I can't believe it. Like, I remember you saying that as you put the ring on my hand.
Well, no, I was like, how am I supposed to do that?
And, but what's crazy is, like, I honestly didn't look down at my hand until, so I said yes, we hugged. I said, oh my gosh, like I can't believe Ava and Hassan are here. You introduced me to the photographers, and then I looked down at my hand, and only then was I like, oh my gosh, like it's beautiful. I get to see the completed ring, because I'll talk about this in a separate video, but like designing the ring, I had seen everything like separately, but I hadn't seen all the pieces together. So it was still like a perfect surprise because I helped design it, but I really didn't know what it was going to look like in the end, which was like, again, just like a perfect surprise. And so you and I were just like hugging, and Dakota was there. And then do you want to tell them what you brought out for Dakota?
Well, and I also got, because, you know, I planned everything.
He did. He planned everything to a T.
I also brought a bandana for Dakota that said, she said yes, and it was hot pink and matched her harness.
And so cute. And, like, I just love that Dakota was involved because she's such a special part of both of our lives. And I just love that she was included. And then, as if it couldn't get any better, this boy right here did just, like, the best thing that he could have done.
That was a last second thing because I wasn't expecting to walk in on you wearing a t-shirt and leggings. So I was like, oh shit. So I think you were going to the bathroom to like fix your hair for a second. So I just like grabbed a dress that was on the couch from the day before from my birthday. And I just snuck into my bag real quick while she wasn't looking, and then I was like, all right, let's go.
And so, yeah, like he said, he grabbed a dress that I had been wearing the night before for his birthday. A very pretty dress from Madewell, and actually very kind of like bridal engagement-y and like pretty and frilly. So you already knew that I clearly liked the dress because I'd worn it the night before. So you like snuck it in your bag. I, again, had absolutely no idea I'm an idiot. It went right over my head. And then tell them about the shoes.
I brought shoes too, just in case. just because I work for a shoe company too, so I grabbed some shoes from the closet that I knew would fit her, and you know.
Because you knew that I was probably going to be wearing sneakers, because like.
And we were gonna do a photo shoot afterwards, so I wanted.
But again, I had no idea.
Nice
so like after I say yes and all of this, I'm thinking like life can't get any better right now. And then Kevin said, he goes, so I know that this probably isn't what you thought you'd be wearing. So I packed you a dress and I bought you a pair of white heels, which again, like perfect and bridal. Like, did you think of like, is that why you did white, or was it just random?
Well, I knew you liked those.
Yeah, it was, but it was just so funny that it was like white because it fit the like engagement-y bridal theme of it all. But anyways, he said, so I brought you a dress and I bought you a pair of white heels, and we're now gonna go have a photo shoot in Central Park. No, it was perfect. And so Kevin was like, we're now gonna have a photo shoot in Central Park. So we like packed up everything, drove to Central Park with the photographers, and had literally a 3-hour photo shoot with them, just capturing like the day of, which was just amazing. So they were there to capture the actual proposal, obviously. And then we had this whole photo shoot. We walked all through Central Park. I'm gonna have our photographers linked down below. They have no idea that I'm doing this, but they were seriously so incredible. And Kevin didn't know them prior to booking with them.
Yeah, I met them for the first time in the room with you.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but you found them, what, through Instagram or through?
Yeah.
Yeah, through Instagram. So I'm gonna have them linked down below. I believe their company is Blue House Photography. They're a couple, super sweet, so enjoyable. The pictures came out amazing. We actually just got back like the final edits today, and they're beautiful. So if you're looking for just a New York City based photographer, it doesn't even have to be like engagement stuff. If you're just looking for headshots, a lifestyle photo shoot, definitely book with them. I will have them linked down below because they were seriously just so incredible and like the kindest people ever, and just helped make the day so great. So yeah, we had the photo shoot. Dakota was included in it all, which was great. And then that night we got home and we were both like exhausted, but also like kind of on a high too, because it was so great.
I was tired.
I mean, I was tired too, but I also wanted to call like our immediate family and let them know, because obviously my parents and my grandma knew about it. So we called, we FaceTimed my mom, my dad, my grandma, his parents, and my best friend Fiend. And then we were so exhausted that we had to go to bed, and I was like, okay, all other immediate family members, like we will call them first thing tomorrow, but like one, it's getting really late, and two, we have to go to bed. And so we purposefully did not post about the engagement that night. We didn't want to post about it until all of our like immediate friends and family knew, before posting to the masses.
Well, and then also so we could get photos back too.
Yeah, so we could get photos back for the announcement. Also, like, I just really wanted to have that night for ourselves. Like, I didn't want to get bombarded with just a ton of messages and texts and everything. Like, I just wanted to kind of soak it all in and enjoy it. And then yeah, the next morning Kevin worked from home, and I didn't have anything going on that day, so we literally just spent the entire day calling.
Well, you did.
Yeah,
I was working.
Yeah, but you helped. You were in most of the calls, but you know, FaceTiming immediate friends and family who had no idea that the proposal had happened. So it was just so great to surprise them. Like, I called my other grandparents, I called my aunts and my cousins, and texted more like friends who are really close to me, and it was really just a fun time. Like, I really was just fun. I mean, I know it was crazy for you because you had work the next day, but yeah, so I guess, I mean, that's kind of it, and that's, you know, that was about, what, almost 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago? Yeah, and it's been just a really incredible time. I mean, how has it felt for you?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
So but I'm happy you said yes, and that it all went very smoothly. It
was truly perfect, Kevin.
Yeah.
Like, we keep joking that Kevin missed his calling and he needs to be an engagement planner for clueless men, because you covered you covered all your bases. It was truly perfect and so tailored for us. And I still can't believe that you brought me a dress and heels. Like, I cannot believe that.
Well, and it just worked out that, you know, Ava had everything set up right.
Yeah.
And, you know, my best friend was there. The photographers were there ahead of time. Yeah. That's what I was worried about going into it. It's just like, what if people are running late? Because, you know, there was also, like, the whole UN thing in the city, like, that day.
Oh, yeah.
And both Hassan and the photographers were driving, and they had told me about it, but they left so far in advance that it, like, it didn't
missed the
impact
traffic.
them. Yeah. Well, they did have the traffic, but they left with enough time, like, to account for that.
Oh. But yeah, no, I really do feel like it was just perfect. And like, you did such a good job, and it was a true surprise. There's not many times in life where you get to be truly surprised, and I legitimately had no idea. Like the next day, both Kevin and my mom were like, Ruby, did you have any idea? Like you can tell me if you did. And I was like, no, I had absolutely no clue. I was clueless. I walked in and I was like, oh, this is happening. We're not at a music rehearsal. And actually, do you remember once I said yes, I hugged you and I go, wait, so is the concert a lie too? Like, is that not happening? And you were like, no, it is happening. There's just no rehearsal today. The rehearsal is the day of the show. And I was like, oh, okay. But that, you guys, is the story. I'm sure this video is so long, but a lot of you guys were excited for it. And please let me know if you want to see Kevin in any more future videos. He's been so sweet saying yes to this. I'm sorry you were sitting for so long. Kevin was like, is this going to be a long video? And I was like, no! And meanwhile, it's been like 40 minutes since we turned on the camera. And let me know if you want to see him in any more like fun content. It doesn't necessarily have to be engagement related. I love filming anything with you, but I know that actually quite a few people have requested like a newly engaged Q&A video, so if you'd like to see Kevin in that, definitely let me and let Kevin know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also click that subscribe button down below. Follow me on all of my social media networks. The links are, again, always in the description box. Where can they follow you, Kev, if they want to? Kevin's definitely not as active on social media as I am, but if you want to follow him, I'll link his Instagram down below, because that's primarily where you're active, if you're posting anywhere.
Yeah, no, that's like all I post.
So I'll link his Instagram down below. And until my next video, I hope you guys are staying safe, happy, and healthy. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Say bye, Kev. Bye.